Dr. Ami Yagnik ji, 7 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir, for this opportunity. And I would like to not go into the details of the history of the bill, but we had the budget speech in February, and on 15th of March, the Honorable Minister has moved the bill, and today we are here for passing of the bill. Sir, why the hurry? Why the haste? And why there is no mention of what happened post-2015, leaving out the COVID year 2020 to 2019, that has given you that rationale to suddenly see that you raised the FDI cap from 49% to 74%. The Bill 6 and tries to amend the Insurance Act 1938 and raise the cap on foreign direct investment in the insurance sector from 49% to 74%. I would like to tell the Honorable Minister, I tried to find what was the FDI number that came in the insurance sector post-2015 amendment, but I'm unable to find. Someone here, a senior person, mentioned a huge number, but that is completely false. I do not have the right number because it is 1/5 of the number that is mentioned here. So what is that which has made you take this hasty decision to bring this amendment to raise it to 74%? Sir, every time a bill is bulldozed, the act is passed, and especially when there is a very important bill, because the insurance sector is an important industry in our country. It plays an important role in economic development. And when the world is watching, and I am on the point because we are in a digital world, the investors, both domestic and international, are watching. I think the stakeholders who are not heard, the stakeholders would like to know what is in the statement of object and reason. So I would like to draw the attention of this House that the statement of object and reasons only mentions one clause, and that is that the substitution of subclause B in the definition of Indian insurance company in clause 7A of section 2 of the Insurance Act 38 so as to raise the limit of foreign investment in an Indian insurance company from existing 49% to 74% to allow foreign ownership and control with safeguards. Sir, first of all, foreign ownership and control, so that itself speaks a lot. And further, above, you have mentioned that thereby enhance insurance penetration and social protection, it has been decided to raise the limit. Sir, the way I'm hearing in this House, the word social protection does not deserve to be here if you are not understanding the meaning of social protection. This sector has a low penetration, yes. The sector is capital intensive, yes. But the sector has been doing very well, in a sense, because it reaches the people of this country. Sir, this sector was nationalized by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru way back. And what was the clause that was used? It was for the people and for the state. That can be verified, and you will find that that was long back in 1956. Sir, today when we are talking of FDI in this particular sector, we should not say that, well, Indian players in the domestic market cannot bring this kind of capital. I think we have Indian companies who are doing very well after the privatization and after liberalization. They are all standing very high, tall, and doing great. But they are also committed to the Constitution of India by seeing the word social justice. I do not know whether FDI can be related to this kind of a word, which is social protection. Sir, the FDI that will bring, when it comes to a domestic market of another country, definitely comes with technological know-how. It comes with all kinds of infrastructure, some kind of management, but definitely it does not consider any issue of local wages or any social development. So multinational companies do come because we have cross-border business open. And when we talk about what happened in 2004, what happened in 2005, what happened in 1919, we must not forget that when we opened the borders for privatization and liberalization post-1990, we also had teething problems. But, well, everyone is enjoying the fruits of those reforms right now. And that is why today we are talking of FDI in several sectors. So the issues here are, which the safeguards which are mentioned by the Honorable Finance Minister, They're awaited. You cannot have just a blank, a sweeping statement of a clause by saying that safeguards are awaited. The investors are watching. What safeguards? Because we are talking of the Regulatory Development Authority of India of 1999. They have guidelines on corporate governance, private equity investment, on what will be the members on the board, and there are Companies Act and the Contract Act. We are also talking about risk management here, and we are also talking of several risks. I may not go into that because it will be another chapter when we talk about risks involved in this sector. But the main point is that the Honorable Finance Minister, by bringing this bill, has not clarified what is the rationale and what is the intent of bringing this sudden cap in the FDI when you have not placed the data from 2015 to 2019. What was that great FDI that came in the companies? And secondly, sir, the most important point, that apart from safeguards, there is nowhere mentioned that there are employee concerns. There is nowhere mentioned what is going to happen at the local level, which is social development. And you have not talked about what is going to be the guarantee of capital infusion post this cap, when it is raised. Sir, the most important part here is when everyone is watching, no stakeholder is taken into consideration, no views of the stakeholders are heard, nobody is taken into confidence, and that is why when you talk about democracy and political will, it does not befit you to say such things. You are not ready to listen to anybody, you are not ready to listen to industry, you are not ready to listen to industry associations, you are not ready to listen to legal experts or people who have come with FDI in this country. So, sir, I would like to ask the Honorable Finance Minister, what is this hurry that has made you bring this FDI in the sector without any basis, and you still talk about political will when you have made a U-turn, when you have opposed GST, you have opposed Aadhaar, you have opposed all kinds of reforms when you were in opposition. Sir, when we are talking before the world, because the world is watching, let us follow the principles we speak. We should practice what we preach. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Amar Patnaik.